Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and this is my Onyx Lodestone farming guide in Cursed Shore. So to get started, you're going to be farming the Earth Elementals at the Temple of Melandru, which the Earth Elementals are only here when the temple is uncontested. Which means somebody on your server, preferably a large group more than likely, completed the event and caused the Earth Elementals to spawn. Now, there are quite a few Earth Elementals to spawn here, although it is kind of annoying that they are on different levels going up the temple. By that I mean there's pretty much like these little rafters, I guess you could call them, that stick out from where the temple is, and you have to run up to different floors in order to reach the Earth Elementals. It's not that big of a hassle once you get to figure it out, and it's actually kind of nice because they won't aggro you from an upper or lower floor. So it leads to a different, I guess you could say, farming experience than Malcor's Leap, where they're pretty much just everywhere and they'll aggro you from everywhere. So that's really all there is to that. And the other big bonus to farming here is there is rarely ever any competition for farming here. There's not a lot of players that come here specifically to farm the Earth Elementals. Sure, you will see somebody run through here occasionally gathering up all of the goodies in this area because there's a ton of like mithril, lotus root, coral spawns up here, and a whole bunch of different things like that. Also, there's a not the group event that is to recapture or to defend the temple, but there is a group event where Earth Elementals, veteran ones at that, come and attack the temple, which is very actually worth participating in, and you should do /map, link the waypoint, which you hold control and then left click, and or shift and left click if you don't want to just link it immediately in the chat, and get as many people to come to help you on the event as possible. That way you'll actually be able to kill the veteran Earth Elementals, which have a much higher rate of dropping an Onyx Lodestone than the regular Earth Elementals you'll be farming here. Now the normal Earth Elementals that you'll be farming here have roughly the same drop rate as the Earth Elementals in Malcor's Leap, so that's definitely something you want to keep in mind when it comes to farming here. There's really no difference except for the group event farming here than farming in Malcor's Leap. So you'll really want to go wherever there's the least amount of people. Unless you can get, enough damage in on the kills with the people here, then you want to go where there's the most amount of people. Completely up to you, and depending on how you want to play. Now, in Malcor's Leap, I've noticed they bought the Earth Elementals here. However, in the Cursed Shore, since as I was describing earlier in the video, there's different levels to this camp, it would be almost impossible to program a bot to figure out how to get up these levels. I mean, not almost impossible, but it would be more difficult than programming a bot to work in Malcor's Leap. Thus, you will probably not see any bots in this location. So if you just want a bot-free farming location, this is probably the best place for you to go. Also, another great tip I can give you is to stack as much magic find as possible. You want to buy a superior sigil of luck for your weapon, which gives you 0.6% magic find each time you kill a foe, and only disappears when your character is downed. That's when you go down on the ground and you have the 4 abilities available to you. I'm pretty sure you know what downed is. And also you want to buy the best magic find food you can possibly get your hands on. I recommend Omnom berry bars, or if you don't want to spend extra money on them, Cup of Lotus fries are also very good to buy. Or, if you don't want to spend as much money on them, God, we're really going down the line here, you can buy peach tarts. The peach tarts are probably the most commonly used food in the game, although they're actually not really that expensive. They usually sell for maybe 30-40 copper a piece, whereas Omnom berry bars go for 2 silver, 80 copper. Now, the Omnom berry bars do increase your gold find as well, which in my opinion you will, if you add up all the money that you get from these mobs, and you add 40% to it, pretty much you're going to realize that an Omnom berry bar will pay for itself within 10 minutes just from coin drops alone. And then you have the extra 20 minutes to, make an additional profit off of the 40% gold find. I strongly recommend Omnom berry bars, but completely understand if you don't want to take that risk involved, or, well, actually there is no risk, but if you would rather not pay that extra bit of money, lose the 4% magic find and just go with the peach tarts. Now, as for the loot in this farming location, you're going to be not very commonly, but what we're farming here for is Onyx Lodestones. Onyx Lodestones are used in legendary weapons and are sought after by many players, and are definitely high-selling items on the auction house, and they'll normally net you about 2 gold, 45 silver at this current point in time. They are on the rise, though. They've been on the rise this whole entire past week. Apparently, people are getting closer and closer to getting legendary weapons and need these types of components. Now, aside from the Onyx Lodestones, you're also going to be getting Emerald Crystals and Emerald Shards. Emerald Shards usually come out of Platinum Ore. If you've ever mined Platinum Ore, you probably remember seeing them. And Emerald Crystals come out of Mithril Ore when you mine that. Now, the Emerald Crystals sell for 1 silver, 10 copper to a vendor, but they sell for more on the auction house. Usually it's 1 silver, I think like 40 copper. So if you don't want to use them yourself, you'll definitely want to offload them on the auction house. They're definitely worth selling on the auction house. And with how many you find, even if you don't find any Onyx Lodestones throughout your entire farming experience here, you actually will still make decent money from the Emerald Crystals alone. Usually about 50 silver just from the Emerald Crystals, depending on how many you get throughout the course of the hour, which, of course, depends a lot on your magic find. Now, you're also going to be getting a lot of vendor trash at this location. Gray items that you'll be able to vendor, blue items that you'll be able to vendor, green items that you'll be able to vendor, and also you'll be getting a ton of white items that you'll be able to salvage, or if you don't feel like salvaging them, vendor them. Although I highly do recommend you salvage them, but just with a really crappy salvage kit, such as like a basic salvage kit. It's got 25 uses and it only costs 88 copper. Definitely worth using, and it will always give you some materials back, pretty much the exact same amount that a master salvage kit would give you. Now, pretty much in closing, since there's really not much more else I can say about this farming location, I'd like to say that you're going to be getting on average about 75 silver an hour here, unless you find an Onyx Lodestone. Then you can add about 2 gold, 70 silver to that. Now, the drop rate for Onyx Lodestones, and all Lodestones for that matter, is highly debated, and people typically throw hissy fits and argue about it constantly, no matter where it's brought up. From what I've seen, the average drop rate, of course you may be unlucky, you may be more lucky, there's tons of luck involved, it's random number generation of course, is 1 per hour. That means you should be getting about 1 Onyx Lodestone per hour that you farm in this location. Now, if you don't get 1 your first hour, you might get 2 your next hour. That is still 1 an hour, averaged out. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Aside from that, there's really nothing else for me to say about this location. So if you guys if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe to me for future Guild Wars 2 videos. Aside from that, good luck and happy hunting.